Let's look at what faith in God gives you and I. Faith in God gives us peace of mind. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 3 says, "You will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you." Whose mind is what? Whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you. When the mind is stayed on Jesus, he gives us peace. 1 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 says the following, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." There we have it again. When we have faith in Jesus Christ, he gives us a sound mind. He gives us peace in our minds. Faith in God gives not only peace of mind, but faith in God gives assurance of strength and victory. Isaiah 41 verse 10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not anxiously look about you, for I am your God. I will strengthen you." Faith in God gives assurance of strength in God. "For I am your God. I will strengthen you. Surely I will help you. Surely I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Faith in God gives assurance of strength and victory. Let's look at Matthew chapter 16 verse 33. "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, child of God, I have overcome this world." So faith in God gives us assurance of victory. Daniel speaks to us from the last chapter, the first verse. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1, he says, "At that time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will arise. There will be a time of distress, such as has not happened from the beginning of the nations until then. But at that time, your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book, they will be delivered. Michael will stand." The story is told of a little boy that loved to read action stories about heroes and villains. Now, this specific book that he was reading, it seemed that his hero was losing. Every time his hero got beaten up by the villain, he would cry. He couldn't take it anymore. He decided he's going to go to the back of the book, to the last chapter, to see what will happen. As he read the last chapter, his face turned from tears to smiles. He couldn't stop smiling as he read how his hero will stand up against the villain and defeat him. He then turned back to the chapter where he was before. He said to the villain, "If only you knew what was coming." Michael will stand for his people. While in suffering, while in distress, it may seem that Michael is quiet. But listen, child of God, Michael is present. In time of trouble, he will deliver his faithful people. The question, does faith in God even make a difference? Faith in God gives assurance of strength and victory. Faith in God gives hope for a better future. Our present suffering is nothing compared to our future glory. Child of God, in the midst of pain, in the midst of suffering, in the midst of confusion, in the midst of uncertainty with regards to COVID-19, we can look forward with a blessed hope that our present uncertainty, our present crisis, our present suffering is nothing compared to our future glory. I'm reminded of the words of President Ramaphosa on Thursday evening. He said, and I quote, "We are all called upon at some time in our lives to make great sacrifices for our future. There are times that we must endure hardships and difficulties. We must not give up now." End quote. True words from our president. This is a time that you and I must keep the faith, child of God. Keep the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14:12 says, "Here is a call for the endurance of the saints who keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Faith in God gives hope for a better future. John chapter 14, 1-3 says, "Let not your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again." The blessed hope and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Faith in God gives hope for a better future. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 37 to 39. In just a little while, he who is coming will come and will not delay, but my righteous one will live by faith. And I take no pleasure in the one who shrinks back. But we do not belong to those who shrink back and are destroyed, but we belong to those who have faith and are saved. Faith in God gives hope for a better future. We are not from the family that shrink. We are not from a people that shrink. We have a confident faith in our God. God is looking for a people of faith. God is looking for a people that will not shrink back because of circumstances here on earth. God is looking for a people who's looking up the blessed hope of His soon return.